Okay, I'm gonna try to shoot a little tune-up video. I've got the rig operational. I'm just gonna choose a band. Typically, you'll start off. I'm on the dummy load just to stay off the antenna for the time being. Somewhere in the middle of the band you go operate. I'm just gonna choose like 7250 for the 40-meter phone band. You'll set your plate. These are the three knobs that control the tubes in your transmitter. So I've got that somewhere in the 7 megahertz range. You see right up there, it's about 7. Okay, and that's just a ballpark startup. What you'll do though is you'll turn on your calibrator. I'm gonna turn the volume up. So hear that note? All right, so you'll have a note like that every 25 kilohertz. There's another one. There's another one. Okay, I'm gonna go back to 7.5. And I got it so that I can see an S-meter reading. Your drive control is your receive pre-selector and your driver stage. Tune that first. Peak that out. I'm going back and forth till I see my peak. All right, I'm peaked. Now, calibrator off. CW mode. Carrier all the way up. And I'm just going to use the microphone. Boom. See it keying that thing? All right. If you have a watt meter, great. You'll use your watt meter. This also has an RF meter. It's not really a watt meter, it's more of a relative output. If it pegs while you're tuning, there's a little adjustment back here in this corner that adjusts that. Don't key this thing more than about 5, 6, 7 seconds at a time in the tune-up mode. So you can go to tune at reduced power. I like tuning in CW because the peak is at a different point. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to peak. I'm going to key the transmitter. I'm going to lock it, actually. So now that we've already tuned the drive, we don't touch that anymore. You're going to key the transmitter. You're going to peak the plate. All right, see, I'm peaking that. There's the peak. Unkey. Wait a few seconds. Now we're going to adjust the load. Key it again. I'm going to adjust the load back and forth till I find the peak. There it was. I'm going to let it set a few seconds. Check those a couple of times. They do interact. I'm going to key it again. Tune my, right there, my plate. Plate and the load. That's your final. I'll give it a few seconds to rest. I'm going to key it again. I'm going to tweak that. It came up a little more. So if you have a watt meter, you'll be watching that instead of this in the RF position. It's basically just a relative output indicator. All right, then you'll select lower sideband for 40 meters, for instance. And you're ready to go. I like to use the processor on this rig. You can leave the mic at arm's length. Hello, hello, hello. See the meter jumping up and down when I talk? Hello, hello. That's a good solid 100 watts. You can, the rig has Vox. You can download the operator's manual for this. It'll walk you through a lot of the other little things. Voice operated transmit. I'm in sideband. I got it in Vox mode. And I'm going to hold, hello, hello. I'm not doing anything except talking, and it's keying up. Now, there's some adjustments for delay and all that on Vox. I don't use Vox because you cough or the dog barks or whatever, you know. It's going out over there, but a lot of people like it. Has a built-in noise blanker. It's for pulse type interference. If you're having power line noise, lawnmower around the house, whatever, put the noise blanker on. And you can turn the level up and down to filter the pulse type noise. I normally run the mic gain wide open. I've got this thing dialed in, so with the processor on, microphone on the desk, you can talk at normal levels. That you'll have to experiment a little bit with. Now, in the CW mode, since I don't have a key in it, it'll do, you know, it'll key in CW. You can use the carrier and turn your power up and down. Like if you don't really want to run a whole lot of power in CW or whatever. So that's what that's for. RIT is interesting. That's receiver incremental tuning, transmit incremental tuning. It allows you to leave, for instance, if you turn RIT on, your transmitter stays on whatever frequency you were on, and your receiver dials around. Straight up is no change at all. XIT is the transmitter. If you've got somebody dialed in and you want to move your transmitter a little bit one way or the other, that's what that's for. And when you key the mic, you'll see it reflected in your frequency display. That's transmit offset. Now I'm going to put receiver incremental tuning, and you see the frequency changing as I turn that back and forth. It's a pretty straightforward rig. I love this. You can normally leave your IF shift straight up, RF gain wide open. RF gain, if you got somebody down the street killing you, you can tune it back, but for the most part, you can always keep that wide open. You have a receiver attenuator. Let me put it on the outside antenna here. All right, you can see all this noise. If I put the RF attenuator on, wrong button, there we go. It puts in about 20 dB of attenuation. Kind of like turning the RF gain way back. There you go. Put that back on. The narrow button is in CW only. If you're operating CW, it'll drop down to 270 kilohertz, I think, wide. 270 hertz wide. And but it is non-functional in voice modes. I already explained the calibrator here, and of course that's all your bands. And it is now modified to transmit on the WARC bands. When this rig was built, it was WARC bands had just come out, and they were like 30 meters, 17 meters, and 12 meters. They had been approved, but they weren't legal in the U.S. yet. And so somebody had modified this so it would work on 12 and 17, but it would not work on 30. So I made a 30 meter mod, so it also works on all the bands now. So let's see if I overlooked anything, just looking at the controls. And again, download the operator's manual. You'll find that that's a helpful tool. Okay, I hope that helps with the initial setup until you get used to it. I've got a lot of hybrid rigs in my collection. I love them. And so what I've done, a lot of them, I'll either put a little piece of white tape and mark it on the dial where I can just jump right to whatever. Or I've got I've done it so much now I don't even look, but I get it tuned up on a band and then take a snapshot of your drive, plate, and load. That's it. Okay, hope that was helpful.